In 1989, the communist dictatorship that had dominated Romania for 45 years was overthrown. With the economy in tatters and only a skeletal police force, organised crime flourished, and the one crime they excelled in was human trafficking. By 2005, the situation had become so bad that Romania set up a new anti-trafficking unit which mounted Operation Octopus, the biggest action against traffickers Europe had ever seen. They targeted the biggest cartel in the country, responsible for taking hundreds of Romanian girls to Italy, Spain, Sweden and the UK. Over the course of one night, the police raided 23 houses, rescued more than 100 girls, some as young as 15, recovered firearms, passports and 250,000 euros. At the end of the operation, 17 traffickers were serving prison sentences up to 14 years. I'm off to meet Romi Ungureanu, one of Romania's new breed of cops. Aged 28, he was the man selected to lead this operation.
At the time, it was one of the largest operations in the country, with hundreds of police officers involved and dozens of house searches around the country.
How important is the ability to liaise, for instance, with a source country and a country that is taking those young women?
There's no use and no benefit if only a law enforcement agency is investigating a case in one country, in only one country, because then you have only like a part of the chain. The idea is to work through all the chain, from the source country to the destination country.
Can you also talk to me about the way that the traffickers have changed the way that they dupe these young ladies into travelling across Europe and ending up as sex slaves?
They started to use, we call it a lover boy method at the moment.
Lover boy?
Lover boy method, yeah. They are, well-dressed guys, the fancy car, quite shiny, inviting girls for a drink or a lunch or dinner or something for a period of time, and then they're making the proposal. That's the critical point. In most of the situation, the proposal is that they got to go on a trip or to live in another country, to have a fantastic life.
Will that same guy be there? Will he travel?
His job is only to do this part of...
Get them on the plane.
Get them there, and then he's out. He's taking the money, and then at the end of the chain, there are different type of persons that they can convince, even by force, a person to do this.
Push them into slavery, yes. Sexual slavery. To help stop the tide of young women being trafficked out of Romania, Romi and his team of volunteers give up their weekends to go to the traffickers' hunting grounds, the beach resorts of the Black Sea, to educate young people and their parents about the dangers they face.
So these are the kind of leaflets they're handing out, yeah?
Yes.
They're quite simple, but they tell of how people are trafficked and what can happen to them, yeah? Is this the kind of place that traffickers or lover boys, these guys that entice girls to travel abroad, is this a place where they would operate?
Lover boys, they would come to the clubs here during the summertime because most of the youngs are here. And it's easy to impress them with an expensive car or
champagne
in a club and stuff like that.
So they'll look for girls on the beach, say, do you want to come to the club tonight, meet them in the club, wine and dine them, and then...
They're going directly to the club. Or on the beach if they have, expensive jewelry on them and stuff like that, or having a boat nearby. It's easier.
Yeah, and because these girls ultimately can be worth up to 100,000 euros, can't they?
Yeah.
They can earn that in a year.
They can make that money easier.
75% of all trafficked people are women, and 90% of them are forced into the sex trade, either trafficked by pimps or sold to work in the sex industry. I'm off to meet a young lady who was trafficked to the UK as a sex slave. She's asked us to keep her identity hidden because she's scared of retribution from her trafficker.